Hello, my name is Benjamin Hart. I'm an American attorney and the managing director of Integrity Legal here in Bangkok, Thailand. As the title of this video suggests, we're discussing cannabis, and certain apparently anti-cannabis medical doctors are now coming out with some new hypothesis, if you want to call it that. So first off, this isn't going to be a direct quote. We found this in the Thai language press. We're going to go over there and just put this sort of up on screen as I go through. I'm not going to do just a complete translation. Quite honestly, we haven't had time to do that, but we do have a sort of synopsis, and I'll put this up on screen. It's from matichan.co.th, and basically the synopsis here is that this network of doctors, but it's not just doctors, it's like academic folks and just other concerned people, have sort of come out with this analysis, and they're trying to compare and contrast criminalizing with recriminalizing cannabis versus not recriminalizing cannabis. And the gist of it is that if they do not recriminalize cannabis, according to them, then the country will face a 6 to possible 29-fold increase in addiction to cannabis during that period, which I find the notion of cannabis addiction a little bit, it's not completely nonsensical, because it is possible with, you can be addicted to chocolate. I mean, anything that sort of gives you a certain dopamine hit, you can become pretty addicted to. But it's definitely not like tobacco, which is one of the most physically addictive substances on the face of the planet, or I should say nicotine is. And it's not like alcohol, which has its own addiction issues. I mean, so this notion of a 6 to 29-fold increase, and this is if they don't recriminalize. What they're saying here is if they don't recriminalize, oh my God, all this addiction will just go through the roof. Well, first of all, then why don't we talk about criminalizing things like tobacco and alcohol, if that's the big issue? Secondly, where was this data before? It's just come up out of nowhere. I have serious questions about so-called medical doctors and trust the experts and all of this nonsense, because quite honestly, these were the same people that brought us, in my opinion, a lot of the same nonsense that we saw in COVID. And then finally, and to get to the title of the video, when did these medical doctors ever have the ability to predict the future? This thing's only been legalized for 2 years. So whatever data that they've got is only 2 years old. It was illegal prior to that. So where are they coming up with their data points to be able to predict 6 to 29-fold explosion of addiction into the future? Last I checked, nobody's capable of predicting the future at the end of the day. So, I mean, what are we doing here? It looks to me like just, again, another and it's becoming increasingly ham-fisted, these sort of drives, if you will, these thrusts to get this thing recriminalized. As we've discussed in other videos, there's now clearly that's not going to happen. It's going to go into Parliament. We're going to put this through Parliament and deal with it through the legislative process, which is what we should have been doing all along. But long story short, I just find a lot of these findings that, we could have, dogs and cats are going to live together, mass hysteria, if cannabis remains legal in Thailand. It's just silliness. I don't get it. I think people are wasting their time. How about we have discussions about how best to regulate it, how best to write a law, how best to promulgate a law so that the country gets the most benefit out of it with the least amount of drawbacks for everyone involved.